Musta tayo ngayon? Ito po si Nico Fabian. Nandito na naman po sa programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. And today is Wednesday, April 22nd na po. Busy ang mga Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, sa mga kaibigan, kababayan at kapatid natin po. Alam natin po, busy kayo po. Ha? Tutok kayo sa mga programa, sa live programs dyan po sa Pilipinas dahil since this morning hanggang ngayon po ongoing pa po yon proper hearing ng impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte being carried out or conducted by the Justice Committee of the House of Representatives. And ako din po, busy tayo dito. I am monitoring, and after this po, whether matapos itong ang hearing or hindi po, pagdating mga 5:30 po, 5:30, I have to change channel na naman po, and I'm going to monitor yon hearing din ni Tatay Digong dyan po sa Netherlands, dyan po sa The Hague po. Kasi may appeal sila po, yun issue tungkol sa jurisdiction ng case ni Tatay Digong po dyan sa The Hague. Dyan po sa The Hague. Anyway, let's see what will happen. In the meantime, I would like to welcome lahat ng mga Filipinos dito po is watching sa programa natin ngayon. Dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Ang mga kababayan, kaibigan at kapatid ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah and Sarawak, specifically dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. And at the same time, same greetings goes to mga kapatid, kaibigan, and kababayan natin, mga overseas Filipino workers sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, ang mga senior citizens natin and super senior citizens natin, ang mga may sakit. I hope, I would like to say, get well soon po, And of course, sino pa? Mga Malaysian friends natin and other nationalities po. Welcome kayo dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Okay, I'll be touching a little bit on, sabihin natin, ang monitoring, ang ongoing hearing ngayon po, dyan po sa Manila. Live ito po, online ito, still ongoing as what I said. And I will share you maybe one or two video clips regarding ang issue. Dumating na po si former Senator kanina, si former Senator Trillanes po, Former Senator Trillanes. And I will also be touching on ano kaya ang preparation ng Senado natin tungkol sa impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte kung sakali po it will reach sa Senado po, Sa Senado ang impeachment complaint ni Inday Sara Duterte. And of course, the first thing that I'm going to share with you, itong video clip po, is that today we are celebrating April 22nd. The world is celebrating Earth Day po, Earth Day. So, sana lang po, we are really observing ang Earth Day celebration natin ngayon po, be it dito sa Malaysia, be it in the Philippines, or be it elsewhere, ang mga Filipinos, wag natin kalimutan ang Earth Day occasion natin po, which we are celebrating today. So, unang-una po, ang first video clip natin that I'm going to share with you po is tungkol Earth Day celebration. And nandito po ang mensahe ni no less than our Vice President ng Pilipinas, si Inday Sara Duterte, tungkol sa Earth Day celebration, which we are celebrating today po. Hold on. Let me share with you itong video clip ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Ang mensahe, the message of Inday Sara Duterte on this very special occasion for which we are celebrating today.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Parehong mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Nitong nakaraang buwan, naramdaman natin ang bagsik ng bagyong Basyang na sumalanta sa Northern Mindanao. Libo-libo nating kababayan ang nawalan ng tahanan sa loob lamang ng isang gabi. Sinundan nito ang kambal na trahedya ng Bagyong Tino at Uwan noong Nobyembre. Saksi tayo sa paglubog ng Visayas sa baha at ang malawak na pinsala sa Luzon at Bicol. Ang mga kalamidad na ito ay kumitil ng halos 300 buhay at nagpalikas sa mahigit 1 milyong Pilipino. Ito ang nangyayari kapag kinalimutan natin igalang ang mundong ating kinagisnan. Ang singil na kapabayaan natin ay pasan ng mga mamamayang Pilipino. Kapag ang bilyong-bilyong inilaan para sa flood control ay ninanakaw o sinasayang, hindi lang natin binibigo ang kalikasan. Ipinagkakanulo natin ang ating sariling mamamayan. Ang korupsyon ng ating climate infrastructure ay isang tuwirang banta sa ating national security. Nang inilunsad ng Office of the Vice President ang pagbabago, ang Million Trees Campaign, nakita ko ang kayang gawin ng mga Pilipino. Naabot natin ang mithiing 1 milyong puno sa loob lamang ng 3 taon. Nagtanim tayo ng 1 milyong puno upang patibayin ang ating mga bundok at buhayin ang ating mga watershed. Ito ay isang nature-based solution upang maibsan ang baha. Hindi ito proyekto lamang. Ito ay usapin ng survival. Ngayong Earth Day, tandaan natin, magtatanim ng puno ang pinakasimpleng climate action na kayang gawin ng kahit sino. Hindi natin kailangan ng tambuhalang budget. Ang kailangan natin ay punla at ang paninindigan para sa kinabukasan ng ating mga anak. Hindi mapipigilan ng 1 punong bagyo, ngunit ang 1 milyong puno na itinanim ng mga Pilipinong nagpasyang lumaban, yan ang magpapalakas ng ating disaster resilience. Kailangan ng kalikasan ang ating pakikipagtulungan. Kailangan nito ang ating mga kamay sa lupa. Mahalin natin ang Pilipinas para sa Diyos sa bayan at sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Syukran.
Okay, thank you very much. Yun po, narinig natin ang mensahe, the message delivered or given by our Vice President Inday Sara Duterte on the occasion of Earth Day today po, no? Today. And yes, I hope we are doing what our simple, small role natin po pagdating saving the earth po, no? Kasi this is the only place we have. Huwag natin kalimutan kung we forget ang mga responsibilities natin sa environment natin, sa mundo natin po, then tayo din yun po, we are going to suffer. We are going to suffer. Kaya nga, tree planting is very important also. Huwag natin kalimutan din po, no? And many other things. So we have to be responsible po, no? Be responsible, residents of the earth. Okay? Alright, punta na tayo po dito sa issue ng hearing dyan po sa House of Representatives, yon impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. And this morning, I saw dumating ang ombudsman, si Jesus Crispin Remulla. Dumating din siya po because nasupena sa kanya po o sa kanila po, no? Dumating din ang representative coming from MLAC. Dumating si former Senator Trillanes and many others, no? So, nag-start ang hearing at exactly slightly after 10 o'clock and until ngayon po, still ongoing pa po. Ano ba nangyari doon po? So, during the early stage of the hearing, nandito po ang notisya. The third day of the House Justice Committee's impeachment hearing against Vice President Sara Duterte surfaced a whopping 6.77 billion in bank transaction that passed through her accounts and those of her husband over nearly 2 decades ago. Yan po, ang pera, ang bank account ni Inday Sara Duterte and of course, ang mister niya po, no? Yun ang issue. The amount reported by banks to the Anti-Money Laundering Council from 2026 to 2025 is not irregular on its own. But House lawmakers said it becomes questionable when compared with Duterte's wealth declaration, which for 6 straight years listed no cash on hand and no money in the bank at all. That is the central tension the House Justice Panel pulled into the open on Wednesday, ngayon po, April 22. Duterte's bank account showed billions in movements, but her statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or SALN, show she only had a peak net worth of just 88.5 million pesos and zero declared cash from 2019 to 20. 2019 to 20. Yon po ang issue nila po. But wala tayong magawa po, no? There is no crime committed po. There is no crime committed. And I don't know what will be the reaction of the camp of Sara Duterte po. Whether, how they felt itong disclosure of some delicate information or confidential information, bank information ng depositor po, ng depositor. So let's see po. Anyway, let me share with you a video clip po kasi dumating si former Senator Trillanes. Some people were saying dito sa Sabah po, dream come true for former Senator Sonny Trillanes, na he was given the chance to say something dito sa hearing po. And ito na po ang mga bank accounts ni Inday Sara Duterte po, which he has been talking since how many years ago po, no? Including mga accounts ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So ngayon siguro happy na si Sonny Trillanes po kasi he was given opportunity or attention to say something about yung mga claim niya po tungkol sa bank accounts ni former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte o Tatay Digong, and of course si Inday Sara Duterte. Let's watch and listen to a portion of the affidavit read by Trillanes' own affidavit po kanina. Alright? Kanina ito po. Let's watch and listen to this po. Hold on, ha?
Ang mga transaksyong pinansyal.
Alright. Okay, sandali.
Ang mga transaksyong pinansyal ni Sara Duterte at mga malapit na miyembro ng kanyang pamilya na naugnay kay Sammy Uy at mga tinukoy na mga personalidad na sangkot sa droga ay lubhang nakakabahala. Hindi lamang ito ay malinaw na paglabag sa konstitusyon at sa iba't ibang batas ng bansa, kundi malinaw din na naglalagay sa malalim na pagdududa sa kanyang personal na integridad at kakayahan o moral capacity upang patuloy na magsilbi bilang pangalawang Pangulo ng Republika. Kaya niniwala ako na dapat lamang panagutin siya at titisin sa pamamagitan ng impeachment. Bahagi ng nabanggit na yaman ni Sara Duterte ay maliwanag na makikita na galing sa payouts ng kilalang drug lord na si Sammy Uy na pumapasok sa kanyang bank accounts at inilihim niya sa kanyang SALN mulang 2007 hanggang 2013 at sa taong 2016. Ang pagkabigo ni Sara Duterte na ideklara ang kanyang kabuang yaman ay sinaliksik at inireport nila Florin Simon at malumangahas ng Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, PCIJ, sa kanilang ulat na may pamagat Duterte, Sara, Paulo, Mark, Big Spikes in Wealth, Cash while in public office, na ilathala noong ika-4 ng Abril 2019 na siyang kalakip dito at ginawang bahagi ng salaysay na ito bilang Annex B. Alinsunod sa mga nabanggit na mahalagang impormasyon, isa ako sa mga nagreklamo at nagsampa ng isang verified complaint laban kay Sara Duterte sa Office of the Ombudsman noong ika-21 ng Enero 2026 dahil sa kanyang malinaw na pagkakasangkot sa money laundering at pagkakaroon ng ill-gotten wealth hindi maipaliwanag at natatagong yaman o suhol na nagkakahalaga ng daang-daang milyong piso na maliwanag na hayagang paglabas ng paglabag sa saligang batas at sa mga umiiral na batas. Ang kopya ng verified complaint na may petsang ika-21 ng Enero 2026 ay kalikip dito at ginawang bahagi ng salaysay na ito bilang Annex Q. Sa kabuuan, sa aking pananaw, lumalabas na lahat ng ito ang mga sumusunod. Una, si Sara Duterte ay kasangkot sa korupsyon noong unang pumasok pa lang siya sa gobyerno. Pangalawa, si Sara Duterte ay may mga tagong yaman na nakuha niya sa mga iligal na paraan. Pangatlo, si Sara Duterte ay hindi nagdedeklara ng kanyang tunay na yaman sa kanyang salin. Pang-apat, sina Sara Duterte at ang mga malalapit na miyembro ng kanyang pamilya na sina Rodrigo Duterte, Pulong Duterte, Pastel Duterte, Hanlet Abansenya at Kiki Duterte ay tumanggap ng daang-daang milyon na pera mula kay Sammy Uy na isang kilalang drug lord. Sa aking paniniwala, ang lahat ng ito ay pasok sa impeachable offenses na betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, at other high crimes na nakasaad sa ating saligang batas.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin na si former Senator Sonny Trillanes po, no? At long last, he was given a platform, an opportunity dyan po sa hearing ng impeachment complaint of Inday Sara Duterte. But based on what we saw, what we heard, what we mga news po, both sa social media as well as ang sa mainstream media po, as well as ang mga individual reactions are coming from the Filipinos, not only those in the Philippines, but also Filipinos in Malaysia, Filipinos in other parts of the world. Karamihan po, they no longer believe what Sonny Trillanes is saying. Yun po, no? I'm not saying na ano po, but this is what we heard. I'm just passing sa inyo po ang mga reaksyon, ang sentimento, no? The voices of many Filipinos when it comes to the allegations of or statements also of former Senator Sonny Trillanes po. Yun po. Kayo, what do you think? Do you believe si Senator or former Senator Trillanes po may credibilidad pa ba or wala na po? Kayo na bahala, no? I will leave it to you. Alright, let's move on other topic po, and itong topic na po hot na din or nagiging very hot sa Pilipinas, and the same thing, mixed reaction coming from several or all the sectors dyan po sa Pilipinas, mga Filipinos po, no, about ang statement lumabas sa social media, sa mainstream media po, about ang statement made by former House Speaker, House of Representative, ang Speaker, former Speaker, si Congressman Martin Romualdez po, regarding tungkol sa issue sa kanya po about participation, his participation in this sabihin natin national budget, ang corruption sa national budget, ang sabihin natin na corruption dyan po sa flood control project sa Pilipinas po. And may mga nakita natin sa mga social media, some are saying laglagan na, no? Others are saying drama na naman ito po, no? But before, I'm going to give you itong sabihin natin footage ng a portion of this message made by Congressman or Representative Martin Romualdez. No? I just want to inform you that yesterday, no, ang Ombudsman, si Ombudsman Remulla, turn down ang request or application ni Martin Romualdez po para sana po pupunta siya sa Singapore, no, for medical treatment. According to Remulla, na ang dami din mga doktor dito po sa Pilipinas that can cure his sickness, hindi naman so serious, no? And natakot din na si Remulla, baka he will not be coming home. Reaction ng mga tao dito po sa Malaysia at saka dyan po sa Pilipinas na tama ang desisyon ng ombudsman. Do not allow Martin Romualdez to leave the country because of the yun na po, allegations thrown to him regarding his participation sa flood control projects and sa national budget ng Pilipinas po. Although he denied. But during or in his speech or in his message, video message po, obviously, nakita natin po, he was putting now or pointing fingers to Senator, former Senate President Senator Chis Escudero, and former Congressman Saldico, who was then the Appropriation Committee Chairman po, no? When we talk about the most corrupt, as described by many, most corrupt national budget in the history of the Philippines, ang 2025 national budget po, no? And not only that, not only Chis Escudero, but also si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, he insinuated that hindi siya ang mastermind, wala siyang role played because he's not part of the process ng national budget. So, ang ano daw dyan po, si Escudero, si Saldico, and the executive. And who is the executive? It is the President of the Philippines, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Nandito po ang portion of the message, video clip message of former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Let's watch and listen to this po. And kayo na bahala po, no? Kayo na bahala po to make your own conclusion.
Today, I'm taking this opportunity to speak directly to the Filipino people. From the start of this controversy, I have been cooperative. I personally appeared before the proper authorities. I voluntarily submitted my affidavit to the ICI. I provided the information and documents asked of me. I did not hide. I did not run. I did not evade scrutiny. I faced it head-on within the proper channel because I know there is no evidence that proves I committed plunder, conspiracy to commit plunder, or any similar offense that the ombudsman may be contemplating against me. And because I have nothing to hide, I am today authorizing the immediate public release of the affidavit I submitted, together with all supporting information so that the Filipino people can judge for themselves who has been transparent and who is simply being politically targeted. Now let us address the most absurd accusation of all, that I am supposedly the mastermind of this corruption scheme. How can I be the mastermind? I was the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, but the House of Representatives is only one part of the branch of government, the legislature. The national budget is not conceived, executed, implemented, carried out, supervised, and completed by one congressman or even by Congress alone, and certainly not by the Speaker of the House. Accountability cannot be selective. For months, I chose silence because I believe in our legal system and in the rule of law. But my silence is now being exploited with politically engineered and fabricated narratives. What's even more disturbing, and this is something that cannot be ignored, is that there are emerging indications that certain sectors are attempting to weaponize individuals, including Zaldico, to construct a narrative that serves their own interests. So when their legal processes is being used against me as a political demolition job, then I will have no choice but to defend myself. And I will defend myself fully. I will not allow myself to be turned into a scapegoat so that others who are actually accountable can walk away clean. If this is a political play to push me out and close the story, tarnishing my name and my reputation, then I'm telling everyone now, I will not go quietly and I will not go alone. I will not be the fall guy for other people's corruption. I have been in public life long enough. I have seen enough. I have heard enough. I know many things about this current administration and past administrations as well. And I see this carefully. If this matter is to be handled as a legal issue, then let it be handled legally, soberly, and according to evidence. But if certain people insist on waging this in the court of public opinion, then I will have no choice but to defend myself publicly as well. To the Ombudsman, I say this with full respect. If your office truly believes in justice, then follow the sworn statements, follow the records, and follow the evidence all the way. Do not stop where it is politically convenient. Do not settle for the easiest headline. Do not confuse public pressure with prosecutorial duty. What I ask of the office of the Ombudsman is simple. Follow the rule of law and due process. This is a serious matter, and it should be handled with seriousness, not with haste, theatrics, or shortcuts. I'm ready and willing to respond to every allegation in the proper forum, through the proper pleadings, motions, and submissions that the law allows. And to those who think they can throw me under the bus to save themselves, this is what I have to say to you. I am ready to defend my name. My silence should not be mistaken for weakness, ignorance, or fear. I know enough to defend myself, and if I am forced to do so in public, I will. Maraming salamat.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin ang portion of the message of Representative or Congressman Martin Romualdez po. No? How do you look at it po? How do you look at it? Some people, they, sabihin natin, describe ang mensahe ni Martin Romualdez po, which mga 11 minutes yun, no? Nangyari yung 11 minutes a video clip of Martin Romualdez po. Some people are saying, ano ba ito? Lagdagan na? Or drama pa more? Ha? Drama pa more. drama lang ito. Remember, si Ombudsman Remulla the other day was saying that they are now looking forward for filing a case, a plunder case ba yan po, against Martin Romualdez and Chis Escudero po, no? Because they see that there is a probable cause, no, of their involvement dyan po sa national budget of 2025, as well as ano ito po, may participation din po si Congressman Martin Romualdez sa flood control projects, no? But it doesn't mean if the Ombudsman will file a case against a criminal case against Martin Romualdez, it doesn't mean that 100% he is already guilty po. Kaya nga, some people are saying drama lang ito. At the end of the day, he will be acquitted. He will be acquitted or he will not be convicted po for the crime of plunder or ano ba ito, malversation of funds, no? Yun. So, kayo, how do you look at it? Do you believe na totoo na ito po? Laglagan na? Or drama lang ito po? Drama lang. Drama lang. So, kayo na bahala for you to make your own personal assessment, personal opinion po regarding the issue. But based on what we saw, what we read, both sa social media as well as sa mainstream media po, no? Sa mainstream media po, maraming mga Filipinos, they believe from day one, they believe that Martin Romualdez is considered as one of the mastermind dyan po sa flood control projects and sa national budget po, no? Sa national budget. So that is what we heard, what is we saw sa social media, sa mainstream media po. And again, Para sa akin po, depende na sa inyo po, no? Depende na sa inyo. And let's see what's next. Let's see what's next po. I will continue to monitor itong any development updates regarding itong issue po, and I'll make sure that kayo po will mga followers dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico, you will be properly updated po on this issue. So, yun. These are the hot issues that we got today. Today, Earth Day pa man, no? Earth Day pa man po. So, tingnan natin what will happen next po. And because of this, medyo magulo ang Pilipinas po, no? We don't know if this is another diversional technique dahil po siguro hanggang ngayon wala pang official announcement na coming from the Czech Republic na totoo ba na arestado or na-arrest kay Saldico po dyan po sa Czech Republic. This one, hanggang ngayon po, ang Czech Republic never gave an official statement about what really happened. Whether it is true, confirm po, si Saldico was arrested the other day. According to Attorney Harry Roque, he himself personally called up dyan po sa mga detention, 1 or 2 detention centers sa Czech Republic, and according to him, he alleged that there is no such thing and Saldico is free as a bird hanggang ngayon po. And of course, narinig din natin yung Bicol Party List congressman, si Congressman Alfredo Garbin, who also confirmed that he was made to understand by the close family members of Saldico that Saldico is doing fine. Okay daw po si Saldico. But does it mean doing fine or okay si Saldico? Does it mean that he was not arrested? Or otherwise? We still don't know po. But ang gobyerno natin, Marcos administration still continue to stand by the words saying that he was arrested and the government is sending a Filipino team to the Prague to negotiate for the return of Saldico. Remember, wala tayong extradition treaty or ties with the Czech Republic. So, si Remulla, ang DILG secretary, was saying na baka 1, 2, or 3 weeks period, then si Saldico will be returned back to the Philippines and face all the charges against him po. But ready ba din ang gobyerno? According to some Filipinos or many Filipinos, ready na ba ang gobyerno for to hear ang mga revelations, confession ni Saldico once he's back in the Philippines and facing the court, or he will be given a day in the court po to reveal what he knows po. He said he knows a lot of things po. Kagaya din si Representative Martin Romualdez, in his speech, in his message, he said he knows a lot tungkol sa current government and the previous governments. So yon po. Let's see what will happen next. Okay? The other topic that I'm going to touch is ready na ba when we talk about the impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte? Ready na ba ang Senado in the event the House of Representatives once the Justice Committee will finish the hearing and they will transmit ang findings nila dyan po sa plenaryo sa House of Representatives, and the House of Representatives will be successful in getting 1/3 of the total votes of the total members of the Congress, mayroon tayong 318 yata po. And they need a signature of 106, no? Of which many believe that kayang-kaya yung po makuha ng 106. And once they approve or once they voted or they get this 106 votes or signatures po, then they will officially now declare the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, and it will be transmitted to the Senate, and the Senate will be conducting a full-blown trial, impeachment trial kay Inday Sara Duterte. Ready na ba ang Senado? Nandito po ang video clip. Mga media dyan sa Pilipinas interviewed si Senate President Vicente Soto the other day, and let's watch and listen. Let's watch and listen to the interview kay Senate President Tito Soto. Let's watch and listen to this po. Hold on, ha? Kung ready na ba sila for the impeachment. And according to SP Soto, na forthwith, agad-agad po, once they will receive ang transmission, then they are going to forthwith conduct the hearing. And ano ang mga schedule ng hearing po? Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this po. Ang interview ni Tito Soto.
I was thinking of a holiday session. Senate in order the impeachment for the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Because again, let's discuss it with the other members. The entire Senate will be just in case. Again, as I said, there is still a vacuum. We don't know if the articles are coming out. Nevertheless, pinag-usapan natin yung if, okay, if ever. Ang mangyayari, kailangan talaga tuloy pa rin ang Senate. Dahil may session kami hanggang June. Hindi pwede mabayaan. But then, tuloy, ang impeachment, and Tuesdays, Thursdays, ang Senate. So the Senate, if ever, we do agree, that all the members agree, we need the consent of the majority of the members in the Senate. Baka maging 3 p.m. ang sessions because yun nakalagay sa rules na this Thursday. 3 p.m. usawa. And then, ang impeachment or based on impeachment rules is 2 p.m. up. Really? No, yun yung nakalagay sa rules sa lahat. And the rules of court assume it. So, lahat ng kailangan namin sa impeachment ay naroon na sa rules na yun. Even if we trial and whatever recommendation they want. So, pinakamaganda is, huwag na namin gawin, ito na i-approve namin, total na tulad ng support. Sapagkat if we change it, magpapapplication na naman. Pag nag-application yan, may for kami ang revision. Ang suspension ng George Kennedy, ang Senate, June 5. June 5. Ang George Kennedy yun. But the Senate is not the impeachment for it. Therefore, we may continue. But that is my opinion, and I hope legal minds of the Senate agree.
As long as nakapag-control mo,
But we can convene the week before the week. I'm sure we will convene before the week. If ever the House transmits to us the articles of impeachment. Kasi
the
very
House
excellent.
transmits the articles of impeachment na nakabalik na kayo ng June. Still continuous impeachment. Even if nakabalik kayo ng June.
Ay pag-aaralan nila.
Okay, that's it. Now you heard direct from the horse's mouth that si Senate President Vicente Soto, so Tito Soto po, regarding ang issue ng kung sakali there will be a full-blown impeachment trial kay Inday Sara Duterte. With how things are moving, based on what he said, si Senate President Soto, apparently, it looks like everything is set. Everything is set po. And the trial will not be delayed. It will be forthwith, no? Immediately po, once they will get the transmission coming from the House of Representatives. So, yan po. Abangan natin po. Let's see. I'm looking siguro by next month. By next month po, malaman na natin po about ang voting ng plenary dyan po sa House of Representatives. And for me, if you ask me, I am optimistic na si Inday or the House of Representatives will impeach Inday Sara Duterte based on, you look at the numbers of a congressman, no, na against kay Inday Sara Duterte po, no. I think they will get the number 106 po. But it won't be, the figure won't be the same like what happened last year po, wherein they managed to secure more than 200 votes. But this time around po, I think it will be less, 200 plus ang record nila last year po. Okay? So yun, I think this is the updates that I can give you at this very moment. Ngayon, April 22 na po. Because busy pa rin tayo, I will still continue to monitor ang ongoing hearing proper of the House of Representatives. Yun po sa Justice Committee, still ongoing pa po hanggang ngayon. Still ongoing pa. And at 5:30, Philippine time po, 5:30, because dyan po sa Netherlands, sa The Hague po, it will be 10 o'clock. Morning sa atin hapon. So we are expecting live din ito po ang hearing sa jurisdiction sa kaso ni Tatay Digong po. So I will also be monitoring. Should anything very important po, no? Mga updates po, I will make sure that you will be properly informed on the issue po. So in the meantime, siguro hanggang dito na lang muna ang Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Maskin paano, I hope I managed to update you. And wag natin kalimutan po, stay tuned lang po dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, because every day I'm coming out and updating sa inyong lahat po, no? So this is a part of my contribution as sabihin natin responsible Filipino journalist dito po sa Malaysia, because this program, my intention was priority, no? Dahil nandito ako sa Malaysia, dito ako sa Sabah, I want to make sure that ang mga Filipinos natin po, no, will have another vehicle, another venue po for them to be updated, to know what is happening in the Philippines. So, not only for the Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia or sa Sabah, this program is also designed for other overseas Filipino workers po sa ibang parte ng mundo, as well as ang mga kababayan, kapatid, and kaibigan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dito din po sa programa, you will be able to know or be updated of what is happening sa Filipino community dito sa Sabah. So with this, si Nico Fabian, once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah ng Philippines, God bless us all. Let's pray for peace dyan po sa Pilipinas, peace dito po sa Malaysia, and peace sa mundo natin po. With this, I'll see you in my next episode. Bye, and I love you. I'll see you in my next episode. Don't forget that. Godspeed.